MF and go.
Juicy. Hi everybody, it's Robert Jones again, and I am here with a big jug, a glass jug. Today we are going to make some fruit wine. Now, fruit wine, you say? Why? A couple weeks ago I was at the fabulous Costco-liciousness buying way too much fruit for what I and my friends could consume. So it's been sitting in my fridge. I've had to do some traveling and I came back and I still have fruit, and the fruit is perfectly fine. It's just a little old. And why not make it a little older with some yeast and make it produce some alcohol? So we're going to be using this big jug, and I'm going to show you how to chop up some fruits. We got some blueberries, we got some grapes, we got some peaches and plums. We got all kinds of good summer fruits. And as we're heading into fall, it'll make a nice wine for the holidays. So we're going to put it all in this jug. We're going to put in some sugar to bring the viscosity and the sugar levels up to make alcohols. It'll be good. It'll be a fun time. So hang with me and come check this out. Oh, by the way, welcome. Okay, everybody, I'm going to be doing some knife work here again, so I thought I would focus down here for a minute so you guys can see what I'm going to do. So check it out. We got 4 fruits to work with here first. So the first thing we have back here is some blueberries, just good old-fashioned blueberries. They're just getting a little wilty, so it's time to put them in the pot. We've also got, these are just black grapes. I pulled the stems and washed them. There's a little bit of water in there. We've got some pluots, which are plums. It's a plum, I don't know what the other combo is. What is it? It's a plum and apricot combo, but it's basically a plum. And we have also got some beautiful yellow peaches. So let's start with the peaches. The first thing I'm going to do is to show you how to cut these up. Many of the fruits have already been washed and stuff, so I'm just going to show you. So I just put it in half, and these are easy pit peach, broken half. Now we got a different knife. So I'm just going to take the pits out of this because it's starting to get a little funky. And you can see that one. Just going to clean it up a little bit. Alright, so that's how you do the peaches. And then we're just going to slice these a little bit because I'm going to put them in the food processor in a minute, so you'll see that. So that's how to do that. Plums are kind of, I'm going to show you, it's kind of difficult to get them to get off the pit. Well, that's not too bad actually. There you go. And then we'll just take the other half out. Well, these are the easiest pits I've ever done on a plum. So we'll do that. We'll just quarter them. We'll put them in the pot. The grapes, we don't need to do anything. And the blueberries, we don't need to do anything. So, I'll be right back after I chop this stuff up, and we'll do the next step. Alright, you guys, so I was doing a little of these, and I thought I'd show you a trick that I was thinking about while I was doing this. And that is, when you cut the plum, so take your knife and just run it all the way around it with the seam. Then go the opposite direction, again, with the opposite of the seam, and then go around the equator, if you will. Twist. Half of them come off and are ready to go. Then the other half come off, and then the seed pops out. Boom! Magic. You can also do the same thing with the peach. I just cut a bad spot out of this one. We'll just run it around the center. Oh, there's another bad spot. We'll just cut that off. This is called knife. Knife is not perfect. Go around here, and then go around the equator. Am I going too fast? You can see it's already falling apart. Boom, just like that, the stuff just falls apart. You can see, seed falls out, and got fruit. Let me do the peach one more time. So, you got the peach, run it with the seam. Am I going too fast? Then you go the opposite of the seam, and you can see it's already falling apart. And then go with the equator. And lo and behold, as you turn it, it just falls apart. It's magic! Alright, we'll be back in a minute. Look how juicy. Can you see the juice? It's juicy. Juicy. Oh, I just threw the pit in there. Good. Hey, it's me down here again. Probably wondering what I'm doing down here. So here's the deal. So the fruit is all cut up, and we are going to do the next step, which is sanitizing all the equipment that we're going to be using for the wine. It's important that you sanitize because we're going to be introducing a yeast into the bottle with the fruit, but we want to try to kill any bacteria or any other strains of yeast that might be going on there. Now, there's going to be fruit yeast, but I think it'll be okay. We're going to be using like a hard cider yeast, a yeast that is made from making hard cider, which is apples. And we're not using apples, but I think it's going to work fine. It's an experiment. Try it. It's life. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you some equipment here that we're going to use to clean the bottles, and this is a very important step. So do some research on how to do this, but I'll show you what process we've come up with when we've been doing beer making, so check it out. Okay, so we're going to be using something called SaniClean, and it's about $9.50 for a giant supply, and you only use a little bit at a time. So the way this works is we open this side, we squeeze it, and it fills up this little reservoir, 1 ounce, and we've got a gallon of warm water in here, and then we just pour it in. It's black, it's kind of weird, and then we'll swish it around. The next thing we have is I think it's called a hydrometer. Just stir this up a little bit. We're going to use a funnel, and this is the stopper for the giant bottle, and then this is a bubbler, spatula, and a bowl that I'm going to use in a little while. So we just want to make sure all this stuff gets clean. I'm just putting a towel down for the equipment to go on. Our funnel, our hydrometer, and you don't rinse this stuff, by the way. I'm a mess here. All right, we're going to put the funnel in the top of there. Can you see that? I think you can.
Oh, no, you can't see it.
Okay, hold on, I'm going to bring it down. So we're just going to get some water, and then we're going to pour it in the bottle. Jim here helping me with the camera since this is a technical day. Say hi, Jim.
Hi.
Thanks, Jim, for helping.
You're welcome.
Turn the funnel. Marissa, if you're watching, funnel. All right, and then we're just going to take this and we're just going to smoosh it. Swoosh it. Swoosh it. This is where it comes in handy to be a big man. This is clean. It'll settle in a minute and we'll get the full amount. And I'm just checking the directions to see if this really is no rinse. Apply, spray, soak with contact at least 3 minutes. Empty, drain the vessel, and let air dry. So there you go. It doesn't have to be rinsed, so it's not toxic or anything else to pipples. If you can see me, I'm back. We're back to the next step, which is I'm going to take each of the fruits and I'm going to put them through the food processor just to chop them up. I think that the fermentation will be better that way, and we'll get more yumminess. I think the blueberries are going to give it a nice color, and we'll go from there. So the first thing I'm going to do is just put the blueberries in the food processor as I spill them everywhere. Did you catch it?
I did.
Oh, Jim ate it. Put this on the top. And we'll get... Okay, here we are, doing it wrong again. Put it on. Now it's facing. Okay, so now I'm hoping that my funnel is going to allow this stuff to pass through. Okay, that looks good. And I'm just going to wipe this off. And we'll go on to the next fruit.
No, the Boston grape thing.
Oh, yeah.
So now we're going to take the peaches. We have all these peaches. I just didn't even chop them. We're just going to put them in here. And we're just going to keep repeating this process. This is the sexy part of the process, making something sweet for the kids. Mmm. And now a more delicious color. Yummy. We have done it. We've got all the fruit in liquid form in the big bottle. Now we're going to put some water in here just to bring the level up a little bit. Mix it around, give the test to see the sugar level, and then we'll go to the next step. I'll show you how the sugar level is going to go. So now you get to watch me pour water. Oh, and a splashy splashy. So we're putting about, I think about half a gallon of water in here. It's really intense fruit juice, and I think we can make a lot more by adding some water and sugar. Now, wine people, do not watch this, because in California you're not allowed to add water or sugar or anything else. But this is a home brew, and I'm doing it the way I want to. I want to make a lot of this. So I think we're going to have good fruit flavor and a nicely fortified wine. But this is definitely not going to go in bottles in your, vintage for a show. So, okay, so there's our water. I'm mixing. It's like Swedish mealtime. I'm mixing. Okay, now we're going to attempt to pour this out and check the viscosity of the sugar. I have no idea how we're going to do this, but we'll figure it out. So we're trying to do something a little creative here. We're going to try to strain some of the fruit out of here so we can get a better measurement of, so we just get juice. So that's, if you're wondering what this is all about. Okay, we filtered out the juice, so now we're going to put it in the tube, and I'm just putting it in here, so hopefully we can get a better reading. Alright, so I got lots of hands helping here. Helping hands. So here's some juice. So let's see where we'll see where this comes to. We might need a little bit more. Okay, this says it is at 1.020. Now, according to what I read online, it should be at 1.080 or higher. So we're definitely going to need to add some sugar to make this come up a little bit more. And if you're looking for other measurements, if you want bricks, no, I guess that is bricks. We don't have, oh, this doesn't have bricks on it. No, it does have bricks. Here it is. We are at about 8.5 or 9 brick. After some mean calculations, all of these from Special Friend, we have decided that this is the proper amount of sugar to be added to our giant bottle back here. So basically what we did is we took the measurement on here, we went and used a calculator and some math, I know, scary math, and we determined that to bring this, which is called the must, we must bring the must sugar level up to produce the amount of alcohol that we want. So this is just over a little pound of sugar here. Now we're going to use the cone, the sugar, and the scoop, and put this sugar into the bottle at a very rapid pace. Do 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 do. Sugar in the bottle. Okay, so we got the sugar in the bottle. Can you see me? There I am. Okay, so you can see the sugar in here. Now we're just going to use the big bear roundy go roundy. Mix this up a little bit. We've got all the ingredients in here. We need one more. We have here something called BREW yeast direct pitch activator for wine, mead, cider, distilling, and sake. So it covers it all. Doesn't say anything else here. I was looking for a number. It says 9 billion yeast cells, and it was supposed to be used by December. No, it was manufactured on December 13th of, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, this is batch number 4766, and we're just going to mix this. We squeezed it up a little bit. And now we're going to pour this. This is the yeast. It's in liquid form. And we're just going to pour it straight into the bottle. Smells interesting. And yeasty. I guess it has a packet in there. I don't know what the packet's for. To activate, to swell, to shake, to ferment. Oh well, okay, so we're just doing it. We're doing it in. There we go. Okay, this is the part one of the winemaking. We've got it all in here. Oh, we didn't do the last thing. We're going to put the stopper in. Put the stopper in. This is not the right stopper. Can somebody give me the right stopper? So as we're learning, we have learned that we did this yeast completely the wrong way. So we went back and read the instructions and figured out, the three of us here, that we were supposed to pop this bag that's inside, which is an activator, and let it warm up. So we've done that. We've got all the nutrients in the yeast. What we actually poured in here was very little before. So we've got all the juice in here now. So now we're going to pour the rest of this in here, which is the nutrients. And oh, hey, now we look like we're yeasting. Okay, so our yeast has been no, what's it called? It's called pitched. We pitched our yeast. Like pitching a fit. Okay. And we've got the right bottle top here. So this is the right one. Believe it or not, this big giant one doesn't fit in here. So we're going to put this in the top. The idea here is that it's going to keep the gases confined. Then we're going to use a little bit of sterilized water in here. And when the gas comes up and it bubbles, it then has a little activator thing that floats, and it doesn't allow bacteria or yeast to go in here. And then we put this on top and the cap. And don't hate me, I'm still doing this all for the first time. So basically the concept is we've got our juice, we've got our sugar, we've got our yeast. We're going to give it a little swirl just to get the yeast mixed in. And then this is going to go sit in the spare room. You want this about 60 to 70 degrees, I believe, which is the proper yeast for fermentation temperature. We'll check on that. I'll make sure it's the right temperature. And in about 2 weeks, this should be fermented, and then we'll go to the next step for that, you guys. I'm very excited to try this, and I hope you guys will learn from my mistakes here and produce some good wine. We're hoping for something good for the holidays. All right, guys. I'll see you in part 2. Hi everybody, it's been 3 weeks and we're back with our winemaking project. Normally we would only let it ferment for about 2 weeks, but you know, life gets in the way and you got stuff to do. Let's see, so tell you what today. So today we are going to go through the decanting process. If you can see the big jug here in the background. If you can't, it's alright, you'll get introduced to it later on. Basically, our fruit has fermented and it's separated. So we have like pulp on top, a lot of wine juice, and then we have sediment, which is the old yeast and all kinds of other stuff in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to siphon off the clearest part of the wine juice first. We're going to put it through some cheesecloth. We've sterilized that, and then we're going to use the pulp and everything else because we don't want to waste. We want to try to get as much wine as possible. We'll then do a second batch and we'll filter that out, and then we're going to put it into cans. I saved some sports bottle cans. We've sanitized them and everything else. They're going to be nice. Maybe not the sexiest thing in the world, but they are recycled and we're reusing them. And then we're going to put some sugar in each can with that, and what that's going to do is it's going to reactivate the yeast so that we kind of get a carbonation built up for another 2 weeks. So it's going to become more like a hard cider kind of effect. So let me show you next everything that's been sanitized just so you guys can check it out, and then we'll start the process and hopefully fill you in along the way. What we have here is all of our goodies that have been sanitized. You can see the lights. This is what it looks like to be inside the studio. We've got here all of the stuff. We've sanitized the cans. We've got cheesecloth. We've got an ant trap, making sure we stay clean. We've got hoses and funnels and yeah, all this goody stuff. So I just want to show you guys what it looks like to have all this stuff sanitized. And then over here, just to show you the sanitizing water. It looks black. That's because the Sandy-Clean stuff is black. And there we go. So if you guys remember, here's the bubbler. The carbon dioxide comes up here, comes through here, comes up this tube, and then it bubbles out this little thing inside, and then it goes through the water and then out, and then this has holes in it. So this is a sealed environment theoretically. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this off, and then we're going to take out the cork. And then I'm going to try to clean this a little bit. So we're trying to keep the bacteria count down. That's the whole point. And since this was sitting in the bathtub, a non-used bathtub, we just want to make sure we don't have any bacteria. Okay, then we're going to have the siphon, which is this. We're going to put it through some sterilized cheesecloth, which is just sitting over a bowl just to catch it. Smells like wine! We're just trying to get the chunks out. Does it smell?
Smell it?
Ooh, smells like wine. It's actually, it's pretty clear too. By the way, this is not the official California Wine Growers way. And maybe you can tell that what we're doing here is we are straining slowly the last bits of the fruit. We've got wine down here, and we'll give that another filter with cheesecloth. But here's a tip, kids. Save, oh, look at all the juice in there. Save your fruit pulp and put it in your garden. Okay, you guys, we did our second filtering, and this is what a dirty diaper, the filter looks like when you're done. So we're gonna put that aside. We're going to set everything aside. I can tell you what the juice, and then we're gonna add it to the other juice, It's got a little bit of yeast in it, and that's okay, because as these sit in the bottle, they're going to settle, and then we'll, you know, when you pour a drink, like you do with a beer, sometimes you have the yeast at the bottom. It'll be like that, except it'll be a hard cidery thing. So if you can see, we've got this entire bowl full of juice. So now we're going to set up and we're going to do a hydrometer test because we want to know what our alcohol volume is. So we'll be back for that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put some wine in the tube. Maybe not. And we're going to put the hydrometer in here and see if we got a float. And I think we need a little more juice. Just a tiny bit. Oh, too much. Okay, so now we've got a float. We can look at our thing floating here. If we look at it, it looks about 1.0. Is it floating? Yeah, it is floating. One. That's pretty much one. Or if you're doing the other method, it's at 0 bricks, which equals.
Well, what our potential was 10%, and then apparently it yielded everything.
So we were at 10% yield, supposedly, and we're at exactly 0. So that's telling us we have exactly 10% alcohol, which is a really strong wine. I'm really excited about that. So we're going to have a little taste. So we got our tube of wine here. Pass around the wine. So it looks a little cloudy, and it'll settle over time, I think. And this is our 10%. Tastes like wine. You guys want to taste?
Sure.
We're going to hand it off camera. Oh, actually, it's got a really nice berry flavor. You can taste the berries, you can taste the peaches. It's
good.
quite...
That's good.
It's very tart. It's not real sweet. What do you guys think? You like it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's good.
One more sip. One more sip. It really does taste like a hard cider kind of thing. It's just flat. It doesn't have the sparkly to it. Okay, you guys. Ooh, I can feel it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to what they call a pre-charge, which is we're going to put the sugar in the canister, and we just probably know this from experience. About 1.5 teaspoons or 2 teaspoons of sugar per 16 ounces usually worked for us pretty well last time. So I think we're going to put 2 teaspoons of sugar in this, and what that's going to do is it's going to reactivate the yeast. And as the yeast reactivates and the lid is tight on this, the carbon dioxide gets pushed into the liquid, which is what makes it fizzy or carbonated. So this is just white sugar. So just 2 teaspoons in each one. Try not to touch the sides. Okay, it's wine time. And now we're just going to fill them. We're going to fill them to here, which is kind of like a regular aluminum can. We think that this space will be good for the carbonation. Don't look at the label. Just look at the fact that it's heavy, it's full of wine, and it's on tight. So it's done. So we're going to finish the rest of the cans. We'll show you at the end. We did it! I'm very excited. We have a yield of 14 bottles. These are 16-ounce can bottles that we're using here. It's not what it says it is. Don't look at the label. We're just using the cans because we want to recycle and have some good cans here. And we came out with 14 units of this. So from going from leftover fruit to 14 cans of sparkling wine We're very excited by that. So here's the process, and here's what's going to happen now. These are all done. They're going to go back in the nice room, which is between 65 and 70 degrees, and it's going to sit for another 2 weeks. And what's going to happen is it's going to use up the sugar that's in here, change it to carbon dioxide, and that will make it sparkling. So in 2 weeks from now, we will be chilling these. I'll throw them in the fridge for a while, and then we'll all have a nice drink. So, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this segment, and we'll see you in 2 weeks again.
And we're rolling.
Okay, you guys, and the last little thing I'm going to show you, just as a little extra, is you guys remember our stuff that we filtered out, if I don't spill it? It's all the fruit. Wow, it smells like wine. And you just will follow me down, and we're going to add it to our compost in the garden. Doesn't that look delicious? But look, we also have squash that has volunteered itself to grow, and also still basil. Other than that, the garden is going fallow, except for one little pepper left over there. Hey everybody, we're back. It has been about 5 or 6 weeks. I think it's been 5 weeks since we made our wine. We put it in the bottles last time. If you guys remember, we used the recycled cans, and we put that in here, and you can feel it. If the can feels stiff, it's carbonated, and then we're going to pour it out and give you guys a look at what it looks like, and we're going to taste it. Okay guys, the moment of truth. We've got our can. You can see it's full, stiff. Listen for the crack. Okay, try this again. Listen, listen. Oh. Okay, so best is carbonated. Alright, try to open this quick. Yeah, it's carbonated. That's pretty funny. Woo! It's carbonated. Alright, but I think it looks pretty good. Alright, let me give you guys a close-up. Can you guys see that? Here's our wine. Let's give it a taste. Okay guys, so we're ready for some tasting. If you guys remember, in here we've got peach and blueberry and plum and grape all mixed together. It's a little bit purple, it's a little bit country, it's a little bit rock and roll. Let's give it a taste. It is really good. It's a little tart. It's got a nice sparkle to it. I think it'd be really good over ice, maybe with a touch of 7-Up or something added to it. But it's a little sharp for my taste, but it's really good. And remember, it's 10% alcohol. Mmm. Wow, sparkly. Everybody cheers! Wine! And?
It's good.
There we go.
And it's sparkly.
Alright you guys, I hope you enjoyed learning how to make wine with us today. We're going to finish these and fall down or something like that. Remember to hit subscribe and like down below. Helps me out, gets my channel higher ratings, you guys. Thanks for watching. You can find me on Facebook at EudaemoniusMarkII, EudaemoniusMark II. Aye. Thanks you guys. Bye.
Thank you.